Hey, babe. Hope you're drinking enough water. Hope you're getting enough rest. And doing your best to let shit go, both figuratively and literally. I know I haven't done a video diary in a while. And honestly, I've been processing a lot of emotions. So I figured today, it's a beautiful day today. I'd sit down out here, talk to you about some of the stuff I've been doing. Then I'm going to get outside and get some of that good sun because it is deceptively bright outside. And it's spring, so it's still not hot. It's still kind of the cool air and whatnot. I'm loving listening to the birds sing and all that kind of stuff. So, in our pantry challenge share of the day, make sure to drink your water. I have been drinking my ginger and lime water, not as much as I need to, honestly, because I have been farting to beat the band. So I've been cutting back on my bread a bit, increasing my vegetables. That too can also increase the amount of flatulence that one has. But the less meat you eat, the less death your ass smells like when you pass gas. I remember I used to care for this woman named Ayala, Dr. Ayala. I used to call her Speedy Ayala, and she told me one time that she thought that as a child that farts were the ghosts of dead beans. So whenever she would fart, and she would fart regularly, I would say, "Amen. Let's say a prayer for the ghost of the dead for Jole." So Joles muertes. I gotta find out what that phrase is in Spanish, and yeah. So if you know what dead beans or ghost of dead beans, how it is pronounced in Spanish, feel free to comment down below. If you haven't already, subscribe, feel free, hit that bell notification so you get notified whenever I upload fresh content. We are growing. We're growing. Thank you so much for the people that have been commenting on my videos and watching my videos. I had a video get double-digit views, and I was like, "Oh, I've gone viral. I'm amazing. It's amazing." So it was very exciting. Cause anyway, so that's something that I had not been looking at, and then so when I noticed it, I have a couple of videos that have over a couple of hundred views, and I'm like, awesome. So I used to read bedtime stories, and I'm probably gonna go back to reading some things beyond just the oracle things, because there's things that I'm studying, and this kind of helps me use this means as like an accountability piece, like for myself. As I was making my bed up today, I was thinking about a conversation with one of my friends, and he was talking about just how open and honest I am with him, that I never tell him anything wrong. And I was like, well, I tell you my perspective, but I'm not infallible. I really need to have someone like in my life that calls me on my shit, and I don't have someone, so I have to do that for myself. So if things go awry, I don't have anybody to blame. I can't point my fingers at whatever the actions of another person. I can't control. The only thing that I can do is control me. So as I encourage you to self-examine, look within to yourself, explore the world around you, the world inside you, your mind, your body, your spirit, and all of the things that are a part of your life experience, just remember that you're going to end up having to hold yourself accountable for the promises that you make to yourself. Now, as a recovering people pleaser, I can tell you I'm really good at peopling. I enjoy people. I think they're amazing when they're amazing, and when they're not, I have compassion for them because I know that they're just not in that moment because of whatever other things that are drawing on them. So I do want to encourage you, if you don't know about compassion or you don't know the Most High, I suggest you have a relationship with Father God, Mother Earth. They came together to make you in your heart. You have to look inside yourself. God is amazing. God is everywhere. But if you don't look for God, you will never find him. So at any rate, that being said, so what are we going to talk about today? We're drinking my water. Man, I had a period where I sometimes, and when life like seems to be not going the way that I hope it is, sometimes I notice that I grind my teeth, I clench my jaw in my sleep, and I don't even necessarily notice it until I'm laying down and I'm going through my relaxing my forehead, relaxing my nose, like there is something there to relax. So I'm unaware of how I'm clenching my jaw, but I ended up breaking a tooth. Or sometimes I'll clench my jaw so much it'll kind of like abscess or what have you. So I end up having to do and oil pulling, different ways of oral care. So in the interest of what that mouth do, I'll talk to you a little bit about oil pulling, talk words much, oil pulling, and how it is done or how you can do it. But I do want to encourage you, anything that I talk about here, do your own research. I'm just talking to you about the things that I have done, and the things that I have done have come after some trial and error and a little bit of research. So I'm my own little mad scientist, but I use myself as my petri dish, as it were, and as I've not managed to kill myself, praise be, and the Most High has told me that I'm not going to die before my time, so I can feel free. I mean, experiment cautiously. You know what I'm saying? You don't dive into the ocean as you're learning to swim. You're going to get into a pool and get your feet wet, get comfortable with the water. That is one of the ways that you can kind of move yourself from where you are now to where you want to be. Just have to break it up into small. One of my trainers used to call it tiny bite-sized morsels. And I love food-related references because I have oral fixation. So yeah, today's creation of our pantry challenge, speaking of oral fixation, is... It looks like rice, doesn't it? And it pretty much tastes like rice. It's supposed to be rice pudding. And it has rice, coconut milk. This was an 8.5 fluid or 250 milliliter container. And I'm thinking for a creamier, more coconut milky consistency, you'll want to use all coconut milk. I used this and water because I didn't have any more coconut milk, and I wanted to do an entire cup of rice. Why? Because we eat rice around here. I enjoy rice, so even if I mess it up, I know that I can do other things with it that'll still, it'll be delicious because I like rice. So yeah, but we've got our coconut milk, some dried ginger, also used some ground cinnamon. And this was the little kicker here, which was good. Allspice. I was looking for my nutmeg, but I couldn't find it, so okay, fine. It's hiding from me right now, and it'll turn up when I go through the process of getting my vibrations, I guess, matched with the nutmeg. The recipe called for nutmeg, but it also mentioned allspice, so I was like, ooh. Then there was it coriander? There was another kind of spice that I was like, I thought that we had here, but I didn't. So at any rate, I found these. What I did with the rice, I did put like 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil on the bottom of the pan. I warmed it up, and then I toasted the rice. That was something that I learned from my twin sister when I visited Alabama in March this year of 2023. And I really like the way that it allows me to like release some of the aromatics and the herbs, because I put the spices in with the rice when I was making it. So as I'm sauteing the rice in the oil, I have the spices in there too, so it's just smelling really good. And I also put like a half a teaspoon of vanilla in after everything was done. It doesn't smell as strong as I think I would have hoped it, but I might see about adding some more spices into it because it doesn't smell particularly sweet. I also put a couple of tablespoons of brown sugar in it too, because I wanted to sweeten it some, but I didn't want it to have too much more sugar than already from the starch of the rice. It's very, very slightly creamy compared to like regular white rice. I think the flavors aren't too strong for me to be able to like use this in a savory thing. It's not quite pudding-y enough because I kind of want rice pudding. So I think I would need to do more coconut milk, less water. And probably a little bit less rice, because I used a cup of rice in this. I might use like 3/4 of a cup, because I want the rice to overcook and kind of give that mushiness. I think that I held back quite a bit as far as like with the spices are concerned, because this is an experiment, and I was just like, okay. So since I do like the flavors of ginger and cinnamon, I know that the next time that I make it, I'm gonna add a heavier amount, because I want to be able to smell it when you pick up the bowl. I taste it. I definitely taste it, so that's good. And so this is like full-on vegan. Your friendly neighborhood vegan can enjoy that. But yeah, I think I would put more of the coconut milk in there. I don't think I have any more here. But I have some almonds that I'm thinking about trying to make some almond milk, but we'll see how that goes. I haven't even started to soak them yet, but I got a 2-pound bag from my local food pantry. Shout out to the Greensboro Urban Ministry Food Pantry that allows me to meet my financial goals by supplementing my food costs. So, and I also get to try like really awesome different things. So today's what food from a bag, what am I do? Is daring breaded plant chicken pieces. Now this is the package on picture on the package, and it's like, okay, this looks like, I mean, I don't have it fried, and it's not quite as brown obviously, but like it looks like the package. And it has a very kind of meaty a meaty texture. Like it really does have like the mouthfeel of chicken. Like it feels like I'm chewing on meat. I think the only thing that, there are probably things that make it different from meat, but I when this is hot, like, yeah, it is disturbingly meat-like. But I notice on the package, it has protein, non-GMO, gluten-free, made from plants, but it does not say vegan. So, I just, yeah, like, I wish you could see this. You see that? Like, oh, that's just very meat-like. It's just like, wow. What in the textured protein? So this would be good to make like in a vegetarian fried rice type situation. You can chop it up. This is recommended to be fried, air fried, oven baked, deep fried, or pan fried, but not necessarily microwave. It says microwaves are not recommended on the package. I understand that. So yeah. Wow. That's really wow. I feel like I'm looking for where the bone would be if this was like a really boned chicken thing or whatever. Now, I have had like vegan chicken wings or whatever that was just textured protein flavored and whatnot on the end of like a cut stalk of sugar cane, so that didn't burn and whatever way they were baking it and whatnot. That was pretty fun. It was obviously not meat. It doesn't have the chewiness that meat does. Mm-mm-mm. I'm like, okay. Mm-mm-mm. So, mm-mm. One other thing that I did, the food that I got from the food pantry, is like when I walk around there, I start thinking about ways that I can use what I'm looking at, because space can be at a premium, and my addictive tendencies tend towards hoarding, so I have to be very mindful of that. And I feel like I'm one traumatic event in just the space to put the stuff away from being like a bona fide hoarder. So I'm grateful for the friends that I have in my life that keep me grounded and help me give away the things that someone else can use and create things that are useful to me. So yeah. So I made some like Spanish rice. So I found a Spanish rice. I used to make my Spanish rice with diced tomatoes. And I found a recipe for Spanish rice that calls for tomato sauce instead. I was like, okay, cool. That gives it that red color. Awesome. And I did it with the tomato sauce. Now, I tried it one time with tomato soup instead of tomato sauce, and I have to admit that tomato sauce wins. But in a pinch, if you do not have tomato sauce, you can substitute tomato soup, but you will need to offset for like the additional sugar that tomato soup has in it versus the just tomatoiness of the tomato sauce. So like I find that garlic powder tends to do that pretty well. So if you tried that, let me know if you're a cooker. So and so for the most part, the majority of like what I spend my food money on is on spices and like fresh fruit like bananas. I need potassium, so that helps me regulate my thinking. I know that when I have a lot of brain fog, that often it's because I don't have enough potassium in my diet. I start eating bananas and my mind just starts working better. So I just like to remind myself of that. So I remind you of that too. Like the nutrients that we get from our food help our body work better. And as I'm being more mindful of my relationship with food, the food that I'm choosing to eat, the food that I'm preparing, like this is considered processed food. So it also helps me kind of supplement my diet as far as like protein and things are concerned. So as I work towards building my business, doing the art, I have the coloring pages that I've been just cranking them out. I have got an order the other day or a request for like a commission piece, so I've been working on that. So I'm really excited, and I did a memorial art installation in my twin sister's house for our late sister Mia, who passed away in July of 2022, and I've been intentionally kind of growing through, not quite going through the grieving process, because I feel like I did quite a bit, and then I got to the point where I guess the emotions got to be too big, or I had to have more life experiences. And so now I feel as though I'm more intentional, re-engaged with my spiritual practices, my spiritual process, ones that I had for myself before kind of wandering out into the world or what have you. And I'm very grateful for that because it helped me have a grounding of faith like a mustard seed, like that. Just have a little bit and just started listening. So as you have a relationship with yourself, just like your relationship with other people, the communication can come and go or what have you, but communication has to be an intentional aspect of your relationship with yourself and with other people. And communication is key. And I have just let me be more intentional about my word choice because I don't want to beat myself up, but I'm telling you, communication has often been a challenge because I did not observe like ways growing up for people to handle their big emotions in a healthy way. Just put it like that. You just focus on the task at hand and ignore it. You just ignore it. Ignore it. And whereas, that has its benefits. It's gonna there'll be a time in which you have no choice but to face and feel the emotions, the fears, and all the things. And I'm gonna tell you, as someone who is currently facing fears and recording this video that I fully intend to post to the internet without doing too much of a review, like whenever you face your fears, it makes it easier to face them again and again. Like you're kind of build the muscle of resiliency and whatnot. We have this, give up, cancel kind of aspect to our culture that is just really can only be cured by people deciding to self-advocate and know what you want for you. So often we get told so much about like what to do and why we ought to do it and stuff like that, and it's just at a certain point, I guess you get to your life experience and you're like, I've always done this way, and now it's like I need to do things a different way. So what do? You can just kind of pause and take a breath. Don't have to rush. Just understand that what you want to do, you can do. Period. So you can choose to shake the blues. Don't see red. Remember the vision in your head of freedom for you and for those that you care about. So that means saying no to things that don't serve you and saying yes to more things that do. Now, if you don't know what you want, that's the thing to think about and to decide. And if you can't, don't worry about it. Just enjoy being present where you are, living your life, enjoying your friends, making new friends, building your skills, learning some new skills, making friends, or not, or just enjoying the process of learning something that you are interested in or enjoy. That's one of the reasons why I cook, because I enjoy cooking. I enjoy eating. This is so good. I think I'm gonna bump up the flavors a bit. I think it has just the right amount of allspice. I'm thinking nutmeg would be better, but I might try clove next time. Ooh. And another thing that I can do, because sometimes for some reason they have heavy whipping cream at the food pantry. If I get I have some heavy whipping cream in the refrigerator right now. It's like, maybe I can use that to make some rice pudding, or because I have more of this. Like, yeah, this is just a one bowl. I can adulterate my vegan rice pudding and turn it more into a pudding type of thing by adding some vanilla, some clove. I'll let you know if I give that a shot. Just brainstorming at this point. That's a good idea, though. I got to spend some time with my youngest son and his significant other. And I had to tell my son, I'm like, look, I get attached. Like, I hope that you guys will always be friends, no matter what happens with your relationship. Because they're young, as it stands right now. So I thought you will always choose to be friends and care that the other person is happy and pursuing their dreams or what have you. And I was like, I'm going to probably be that parent that still stays in touch with your ex if y'all break up. It's like, yeah, I like her. I think she's cool. So I was like, alright, so I feel like my other children know that, like, don't introduce me to anyone that, you don't want to maybe see at some point in the future, because I may hang out with them. So I've hung out with a couple of my friends, my two oldest daughters, a couple of their friends that, I've stayed in touch with some that I met through my youngest daughter, but I have actually hung out with a friend or two of my oldest daughters, so I'm like, cool. So, and, so, what else? Thank you so much for everyone who has connected with me to do a reading or book a session. If you are interested in booking a reading or a session, the link is in the description. Feel free to give a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm currently in North Carolina, heading to Georgia sometime potentially this weekend. Waiting to hear what that's going to be. Then, thanks to the powers of the internet, we can connect with one another and talk to each other wherever I am. Thank you, everyone who has reached out for your coloring pages. I'm very excited that I've recently scanned like 51 more pages. I'm still working on like the fiddly bits and whatnot. Again, I got the commission piece I'm working on today. And I've started like organizing and looking through my pieces to kind of group them into, similar-ish types of drawings so that I can get them grouped for the next step. I'm creating a series of adventure journals. So there'll be coloring books, but also be adventure journals. So that'll give you an opportunity to either have some that have some journal prompts in them or some creative writing prompts. I think it would be a great way to disconnect or reconnect, get off of your technology and get with the old school PDA, pen and pencil. And yeah, imagine more. And yeah, so that's what we're currently working on. This is so good. So it is about that time for me to close this one out. It's been over almost 30 minutes. My goodness, we've been talking. Talking my head off. Make sure to drink your water. Make sure to get your rest. Do your best to let shit go, both figuratively and literally. Have you some good poops. Have you some good laughs. And know that you're beautiful. You're sexy. You're amazing. and your butt looks nice. Somebody told me that my butt looks nice the other day, and I'm just like, oh man, cool. I mean, compliments, acknowledgments hit different when you're the one that tends to give them more so than other people. So that really felt good for like what I put out into the universe to start coming back to me. So yeah, appreciation is key. Thank you. I'll talk to you and I'll see you soon.